Welcome back to I'm a noble on brink of ruin, so I tried mastering magic. I think it's even this full name thing. I try so I might as well try mastering magic. Uh Interview episode number 2. Yep. This one discussing episodes 3 and 4 of the series. Oh, by the way, one thing I forgot to mention in the last video. The series has no dub. Yeah, I don't know why. It just doesn't have a dub for some reason. Not sure why, but it doesn't. As far as I can tell right now, it's one of a few right now that does not have official dub. So the only ones I can think of do not have official dub as of right now is Welcome to Japan myself. Even given the worth of this praise class, I'm actually the strongest. I'm the evil lord of the intergalactic empire. Beyond the very dark elf chasing me all over the world. And I believe the daily life of middle-aged online shopping in the world. So I'd say about 5. This actually is the 5th anime this year where there is no dub. Not sure why. I guess not every series can get a dub. Do I think it's one? Yes, I would love to hear a dub for this one. Like, so far, 4 episodes in, I would love to hear, I would say maybe either Trina Shimura, she'd be perfect for Liam, or the guy who voiced the main character from the Agent Academy. That's what I can think of. So, here's what happens over the course of these episodes. So, basically, with, of course, the 2 girls, they form a party together, and basically after feeding some, also because of the fact that he also meets the princess in this episode, and because basically he amused her for a second time, she immediately grants him the title of Baron. Normally, this would mean in some shows, a rank like this requires them getting a mansion. No mansion yet. So, give him title of Baron. And then, of course, basically, there's stuff related to his brother, who is jealous of him, because he rose the rank higher than him. So then he proceeds to unseal a dragon fiend, basically a dragon that its kids look a lot like mini Dragonites. Not sure, actually more like Dragonar, I think, and yeah, basically Dragonites. So, first deals with the mini Dragonars, the mini Dragon Fiends, by throwing them into another world thing and sealing them there. Of course, they basically disappear anyways. He also has the Grimoire in there for some reason, which of course there's no mention of giving it back, because he throws it in there with the mini Dragon Fiends. Also, his brother is heavily injured, and so he ends up basically talking, after supposedly Dragon Fiend calmed down, he ends up talking to him like, oh, you have immense magic. I'm very interested in you. And, well, after discussing for a while, it's also mentioned that Liam's great-grandfather was the one who originally sealed him. And this apparently got him his family their noble status. I'm like, okay, interesting. Well, that's what I wanted to get into. Yeah, so yeah. Yeah, get noble status. And apparently and of course he talks to James later on, apparently fusing with the dragon allows him to get a higher award, which he does. And he gets a position, he can rank the award of Order of the Phoenix 3rd class, and after detailing basically what happened with the Dragon Fiend, the princess gives him 300 pieces of gold coins. Meanwhile, his brother basically is still being jealous of him, and, well, tossing a maid. Well, he doesn't have anything to do with his brother per se. And then, by the way, it seems like Ayesha, and Velda, I think her name is, where they're just not playing a role in this episode. Okay, her name is Jody. Yes, Jody. Hmm. Okay, so yeah, and because apparently he knew holy magic, so then later on he basically is tasked by Rodan. That's the guy. That's the dragon's name, Rodan. Which I'm like, oh, it could be Rodan, Ronan. Yeah, it just the best way to describe this particular name. It's like when I first heard the name, I'm like, wait, did the writer of the series name this creature after one of the famous kaiju monsters, Rodan, who was actually a pterodactyl? Well, a radioactive pterodactyl, mind you, yes. Except that was a pterodactyl, not a freaking dragon. But the way this dragon is, it's not a Chinese dragon it's not an Asian dragon. It's more of a typical European dragon, though much more smaller. Though when I also first saw the creature himself, he kind of made me some of the dragons seen in Yu-Gi-Oh! A little bit. He had to look up basically early Yu-Gi-Oh! Oh, I know what he reminded me of. Basically his kids remind me of the card. I think it was like Dragonite. I think it was. It was like the baby dragon they had there. It's very similar, except this one's more has a defined face. The face itself reminds me of the red-eyed black dragon, which cool monster. Yep. So then he's tasked to basically go to his forest and unseals it and comes across a bunch of pixies. Which of course they think that, oh, he's a human. They might apparently humans take the pixies' wings, and yeah, when I see these creatures I'm like, wait, aren't these fairies because they're so small? No, apparently they're pixies. And if you're curious, have you ever seen pixies in other anime? Well, except when I look at these creatures that look like fairies. Pixies is more of an American term, per se, that's similar to fairies, but not really sure why they call pixies for this, but I can look at them, they look like freaking fairies. Yeah, wings, and then of course he proceeds to give them all names, and they all become elves. There's like Rena, Susie, and Mina, Nina, and stuff like that. He names all of them, and it's like, okay, I want you all form a village, and Rena here, because she was the first one named, she's become basically the village head. Which, of course, she has no problem with at all. And then he comes back next day, and they're not very successful. And then later on, apparently, one of the girls nearly gets kidnapped by bandits. So, basically, he decides to move from the area they were in, move into his land. Eventually, he's able to use this teleportation ability, where they're able to, like, go to the sealed... They've heard what, basically... Rodan refers to as sealed lands, and this big open area, which is basically kind of like, so we think of a quarry, except like big grass area, like, oh yeah, possibly a nation here because I'm basically a king, possibly, and make a natural water source. The water spirit seems like, and she's very happy to be like evolved, but she seems very indifferent. She doesn't like it like her master very much at all, per se. She's like okay. Find a water source, and well, and then of course later on, like the princess just like he ends up practicing more magic, and then the princess just happens to come by, which of course she finds, oh, he uses holy magic. Well, the fact that, well, talk about these sealed land, like, oh, basically that, yeah, talk about this promised land type of thing, like sealed lands, and then of course it's like, can you take me there? Sure, but brings along a dwarf, makes an illusion of him, and because he can know about construction, he also took time to master some magic too. Then he transports them instantly to the area, and the episode ends with basically the princess basically bowing to him and requesting they form a nation with this area. Interesting, very interesting indeed. And we're only 4 episodes in. My plan was initially just to go ahead and do my regular anime, but I'm going to do 2 more episodes so I can be about halfway through and then work on my 4 anime. But I do think I can be able to get it done today, no problem. Yes, let's hope so. Okay, so that's pretty much a particular review. Please be sure to like, comment, subscribe, turn notifications. Next time I become a corn, which I am, feel a little better for that. So, thanks for you. Bye.